Another day, another dollar.
Well, it's supposed to be better than no dollars.
Yeah. I'm just glad every now and then you have nice. I go to nice calm meetings.
Good, yeah.
Well, we can change that.
All right,
Preferably not.
I'm working on my last 64 ounces of water a day.
What do you do?
Getting around a little better.
What do you do?
Getting there.
I go to all the meetings, so the school meetings like superintendent
Oh, yeah,
just
so
Done with the other stuff now.
superintendent just
Everyone has
resigned.
questions. I know. I was like,
Then we got the charter review committee going on.
Things are starting.
oh, I thought you meant like at work.
Like spring
No.
down, and starting to pick up big time in the park.
Those days are
Yeah. The rain will stop and it'll dry out.
long gone.
Well, it's been raining for the past year and a half. My son and I played golf.
Not too bad over there now.
You did? Wait.
No.
I just moved yesterday to the dump truck I did today.
It's like
Made it in August.
You played all week.
So,
Okay. I'm on
we
the
went on
Lions
back.
Club. We were sweet.
The gravel that we put in last year, the frost is underneath
We're
it.
having a tournament event that's
we'll
Lions
wash the
Club.
gravel.
There's like a lot of people signing up
I've
for
had to
it.
yank our
Right
delivery
now,
truck out
sign up
twice
with-
the past week at properties. One of them, I don't know why you overshot a customer's place and decided to turn around in an entrance to a hayfield after them. Wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Luckily, the customer had a brand
It's-
motor on
it's-
the garage, he come down and bailed us out.
And then
Hauled it
then
out.
it includes Hermon, it includes your.
Groceries are trying to haul wood in August though right now, and they're 4 miles going over, they buried the grader, 2 box trucks.
As well.
Really, yeah.
So that's not even extra.
They're trying to
And then
tell
you
them,
pay
you
an
need to
extra
stop.
$100 you can,
Lay the guys off,
Make it work.
you gotta
have a
stop,
whole
make
sponsor.
it work.
So if you pay 400, you have a whole sponsor too. Or you can.
They need the wood, they're trying to get going.
Like $300 for a team is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
It's until, but you gotta make a decision because it's until.
They got in a little more stuff on. They just sold a big tractor for the golf course in Dover.
Oh, yeah.
They have
But
that.
still, every other place is 600.
So,
I wanna say, I don't have my calendar. It's
Yeah,
like
well-
either the 22nd or 24th. I know it's a Friday.
I know we'll be doing the high school one for their fundraiser.
You can't hold in one of the first grade camper was.
Yeah.
mhm.
I said, all I'm doing, put your
I mean, you work
slot,
again?
bring the center, everything,
Yeah,
bring
right,
that.
that's what I thought. I think
Exactly.
they're having, I think they're
Can't
having
do it anymore.
a thing.
Probably.
Maybe.
We got so many golfers there.
My neighbor in Lincoln's got a place
I'm not
up
the
on
best
Chin
golfer,
Pond.
but I'm
He
a
did
really
that
good
song,
putter.
and he have to do some squats, 'cause I thought I was
Usually
gonna
I'm a
go
pretty good
yesterday to play around.
Today, the last one.
It made it so much worse because I
Yeah,
should have left it.
all of a sudden things started going better.
I know, I have to get it out of my head. I just don't like, and the other thing is if I have another team like sitting there waiting and then there's another team that pulls up, I'm just like, I feel.
Well, if you just turn around and fire one back at them, you feel much, much better.
Yeah.
You missing some people that we know of tonight? Kurt's not coming, Josh is not coming. And it's coming, but he'll be fashionably on time.
You come here 2 wheels in a
Yeah.
minute.
That's funny, because isn't he always the one making jokes about people coming in on 2 wheels?
I'm actually here for Ted's, on Ted's behalf too.
Thank you. Thought I saw him coming back here today.
Josh, is Josh here until they find someone or until
End of June.
end of June?
Yeah, so they found somebody
Oh,
and announced that the last town council meeting.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Steve Shields?
yes, Steve Fields, he's the town manager in Corinth. So he's gonna be finishing up out there and then come on July 1.
His name's I had a good understanding today with all these developers, I had to call DEP. What a joke. I was calling
my
around
life.
everywhere. Like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start. You know what it was? In a deed, there's a person that's putting in a $600,000 house. And in 1976, DEP wrote in the deed that they could not have a septic system. And they have a septic design now that's been all approved by the city and it's all good to go. But we can't, the city can't speak for DEP, it's Brewer, they can't speak for DEP. So we have to get DEP to sign something so we can record it.
Yep.
So the guy can build his $600,000 house. And so I was making calls all over the place today, just trying to help the guy out, because I was just trying to be nice, because he didn't know what to do.
Did you end up finding somebody helpful?
I ended up, I had to leave a message, because he told me that it had something to do with, I don't have it in front of me, but, I had to leave a message for someone in Brewer.
We're just waiting for the chair to show up.
I ended
He's
up
on his
calling
way.
the DEP on Hogan Road, who
Yeah,
referred me to
probably
a couple other different people, and
Somebody
then
in
they ended
Augusta.
it. No, not yet. There was somebody in Augusta they gave me, but they told me to call this other lady first. It was something to do with, I can't remember.
Say
Five
location.
initials. Five initials.
Slow down.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And it was 1976.
It was adopted in 76,
Mm-hmm.
same law was.
That's a little bit out of my field, but.
It's interesting. The way it's like in the septic.
And it's not public water and sewer there, where their property is located. So all we have to do is get them to sign something, so I will be able to do that, hopefully.
6 months later.
I hope not, because the guy really wants to close on Friday.
No.
That's not happening.
That's not happening. You might, 6
Don't
months
feel
later.
bad. The other one I was chasing down today is this couple were married, got divorced, the wife died, and then we found out today doing the title search, it's just been a handshake down through the family, did the title search, and they never included the property in the divorce. And now everybody's dead. Even the attorney that did the divorce is dead. They're all dead. I'm like, oh my God. So I had to call to get records from the state archives. Just like, so I told the buyer, well, I'm like, the person that owned it, I'm like, the only thing that I can think of that you're gonna have to do is have all the heirs sign of all the dead people. I'm like, that could be 20 heirs, I don't know.
Is it properly like one of the first things that do with divorce? I don't have a whole lot of experience in that realm, but.
Well, you know what happens a lot of times, what I hope, and this is what I'm hoping happens. They don't keep the records at the district court after such a period of time. So in this case, it's already sent to the state archives. So sometimes what happens is when you do get the divorce, you have to file an abstract of the divorce at the registry. You don't file the divorce, just the abstract that is only details the property. And sometimes what happens is they forget, and they forget to include something when they record it. So I'm hoping that the clerk at the court might have just forgotten to type in that property address by mistake. So that means we have to look at the judgment itself, which is in the state archives now. So I've already called to try to get a copy of it, and they're working on it. Hopefully it will say in the judgment that the property went to the person it's supposed to go to.
I wish you was, or a lot of lies.
If it doesn't, then we have to have all the heirs sign it or
Yeah.
amend the divorce decree, but nobody's even around to amend it, so I don't know. The only thing I can think of is the heirs. And it's so funny because they're like, what do you mean? This belonged to my grandfather and my uncle before that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and nobody ever had a title search done, did you? Nope. So that's what happens a lot of times when you see family farms and whatever. Finally you get the title search done and you're like, well, what happened to Uncle Joe? Where's Dave? Oh, nobody in the family likes him. Yeah, so hopefully I
I can assure you that the DEP thing will not go fast.
They can't even meet their regulatory requirements right now. Like if they have 60 days to process a site law, a stormwater permit, they're going 90 to 100 right now.
really.
Because they're renovating Augusta, so they don't have to be in the office. So to be fair to Bangor, they don't have to be in the office either. So everybody is 100%.
The guy that I talked to was really
To be
helpful.
fair,
He
you have to be
stayed-
fair. It's state.
I talked to the guy in Bangor. He was really helpful. He I can't remember his name. If he said it, I know it. I have it on my phone, but I left it in the car.
There's a bunch of new ones that just came in.
I got the impression he'd been there for a while.
Was it Ken?
Huh?
Was it Ken?
What's his last name?
Libby?
No, it wasn't him. I was thinking it was like a mix something or something like that, but I don't remember off the top. I'd have to look. But he was really nice and he really helped a lot.
Every day it's new adventure.
Is that not him or is he?
I don't know.
Did he forget?
First person I remember, we're gonna have to start it late.
Now we get to the thing from agricultural engineer.
He lives close though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
okay, that's sitting here right now.
Okay.
Oh, your chair.
Is he not here?
Yeah, he texted,
Huh?
he texted at 6 o'clock, he said he was on his way.
From Belfast. Anyway, that's just.
Who has to run the meeting if he's not here?
It's all clear from Monroe Well.
He has an agenda.
You have this all memorized, right?
Yeah.
All the stuff you said.
Mhm.
Like he was going on with weather.
Get a flat tire.
Nope, you didn't.
Maybe that wasn't being recorded.
We'll let you deal with it.
Just as well. That's all right. Okay. All right, I appreciate it. Okay.
What did you say? Sick?
I hope you feel better.
Oh, no.
Alright, so Ed can't make it, Josh is on his way, he'll be here in 10 to 15 minutes, so he's our vice chair, so I don't know how it works without having either one here. Who appoint to, so Josh will be here in 10 to 15 minutes.
See, I think it goes to the code officer, I think.
Non-voting member.
He does know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't bring Robert's rules with me.
I got a copy if you wanna thumb through it.
Well,
I have both for the real one and the one for dummies.
Yeah. All 500 pages.
The one for dummies is actually pretty good. As much as I make fun of those books, it actually simplifies it nicely.
Oh, it's gonna be past my bedtime, I go on now.
No,
We'll tell him you made an appearance if you need to leave.
Well, I was wondering what forum, and I was just thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was
Four?
like,
Willie,
we
we have
only
Willie.
have
We have
right,
four.
we have
We're
four.
good.
Kind of reading through the rules right now. I've never run into not having either one here. Did you get involved in the subdivision?
I did not try that.
I think it just goes to the most senior person. If I remember correctly.
In the temporary absence or disability of chair and vice chair, the board shall elect by majority vote chairman pro tempore from among its members. The chair pro tempore shall exercise the powers of the chairman during the absence or disability of the vice. So, if we wanna do that, we could, or we can wait 10, 15 minutes for Josh to show up.
If he's already on his way.
I mean, once you guys don't mind waiting. Anybody got any good stories?
Oh, no, yours was pretty entertaining.
I'm still laughing inside how you think you're going to get something resolved by.
Nobody's surprised.
I will say there are times we do surprise. How quickly they turn stuff around.
Well, it's a pretty simple thing, it's not anything that's, it's not,
Nothing.
Is, if there's a geologist involved,
Oh, God,
it's gonna take a long time.
that's an understatement.
I'm being nice on my camera.
So am I. And I'm not.
I can call them and ask a question to tell the landowner, and then the landowner will ask that same question, and there'll be two different answers.
I've had that happen too, I've had that happen in the fire marshal's office before.
Yeah.
Now, in fire marshal defense, they were trying to be helpful. But as a consultant, they should look sort of silly when you say, well, I talked to them, they said you can't do that.
Right.
So it's all on my own.
My dad's a master plumber, and he came from Santa Monica when he moved here back in the early 70s. And he's like, he read all the code and took the test here and was like, and he asked like, do you know your code contradicts itself? And you're like, what do you mean? It looks like someone cut and pasted stuff back then, like from different. Come to find out, they had taken it from
Actual
different.
cut and actual paste.
Yeah, like just like, hey, this is a neat code from this state. We'll just take that and pop it in here, and he was like, you can't do that. And they're like, oh, we do this all the time. It looks good enough. When he would go and inspect in the early 70s, like, it's fine. It's okay. It's like, no, you get it.
Up till a few years ago, our land use ordinance had Hamden through a lot of it. Copied and pasted Hamdens.
There's a lot of them that refer to the wrong county when it comes to soils mapping, like I think Corinth refers to York County.
So it's about that.
I don't know. It's in the ocean.
We'll see.
Makes you feel any better, your ordinances are much better than Camden's.
you're being recorded.
And I tell you,
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
no, like, we talk about that at work, like, when we read through, like, we're doing a job in Wilton right now, and Scott's like, oh we need to get this information, well, I'm like.
I called a town this week, and I had to talk to someone about another thing. And I'm like, okay, and it was another septic thing, and I'm like, okay, well, I just need to know, is this being taxed as vacant land, or supposedly they think there's a septic on there, but according to the town, there isn't, so I need to know. And the guy's like, well, let me check, and then I said, wouldn't they have had to submit something to the town to put a septic in? Oh, no, that's not how it works, dear. And I'm like, I went, okay, I'm on the Hermon planning board, so I kind of have a general idea how it works. And I'm like, they can't willy-nilly just go put a septic wherever they feel like it. And then he looked and he's like, oh, yes, oh, no, you're right, yes. And I'm just like, so then he checked and he's like, no, they don't have a septic on there at all. Like, okay, then why does the lender think they do? Every day's an adventure in the closing world.
Have things picked up or slowed down?
They're actually starting to pick up a little bit. I've been busy and getting a lot of orders through the door, and it's been busy. I was told recently commercial hasn't even slowed down hardly at all.
I was just
I
wondering.
mean, residential did obviously, but it's picked up. I think with the nice weather too, that helps a lot. People start looking, and thinking, well, maybe it is time. And I posted something this last week on interest rates. And I'm like, really? Everyone's going, oh my God, 6%. And I posted a sheet that showed different interest rates throughout the years. And I mean, in the 70s, people didn't even bat an eye at 14% or 12%. And they thought that was a good rate.
My in-laws in the 70s had 17%.
Yeah, and it was good.
Yeah, but their home was like,
A lot less expensive too.
yeah, I think it was like
Right. In the
30,000?
40s probably.
30 or 40,000. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So I think that the amount, you know, compared to today, you know, like a 300,000 or 400,000 home is
Yeah.
huge difference in how much you're gonna pay.
But I really think if you're waiting for the interest rates to go down to the 2s and 3s, you're gonna be waiting for a long time. That's my opinion. I don't think that we're gonna see that again for a long time.
No, because there's some surprise that inflation was up again unexpectedly.
I don't understand that one. I feel it every time I go to the
Anyway,
grocery store. Grocery store is the big, I feel like that's where I see it the most. Like, it feels like it just keeps going up every time. I took my daughter, like, she's like, things are more expensive. And then, like, we bought 10 things and it was $50. She's like, how is 10 things $50? I'm like, I think that's a pretty good deal, but, you know.
How old is she?
She's 11.
My grandson is 13. They both, the 13 and 14-year-old, both recently have been like, did you notice that the popsicles are a lot smaller? And did you notice that this is a lot less in it? And, you know, and I'm like, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're charging more and using less.
what was even more fun was watching my kids
Funny
do
kids
tax
are noticing
returns
it.
this year.
Oh, really?
The first time?
Wait, what? Yeah,
Oh.
I told you just file for the exemption.
Yeah. He did.
So then he had to do his taxes.
He can still file, but he can't use it this year.
No, and he did so my wife thought she was doing him a favor by letting him clean the office every 2 weeks for $50. And he got up over whatever the number was, 1,200 or 1,600. So then he had to become his own cleaning service, and he had to have a 1099.
But what about insurance and stuff?
Not for her business, she's not worried about that. But it was, I'm glad he got to, experience that.
It's a hard lesson.
Well, my grandson is 20, I went to help him do his taxes, and I looked at his W-2, right, looked at it, and I'm like, I didn't take any taxes out of you? He's like, well, I don't know. What'd you claim, 0, 1, what? And he's like, I don't know. And so I'm like, oh God, you're gonna have to pay taxes in. I go, you should have been getting money back, now you're gonna have to pay in. So I did help him do his taxes, and sure enough, he had to pay in. And so I said, go back to your employer and find out what you did. I don't know what you did. And you know what he did? On the form, the way the new form's set up, there's a box that says exempt. He checked exempt. I'm like,
I like the idea.
I'm like,
Just zip me from taxes. Man, if it was that,
he goes,
Where's that on that form?
I don't know. He goes, he's like, I didn't know. I was just filling it out, and they're like, oh,
Sorry,
we can't
everyone.
tell them how to fill it out. It's so long.
You're good. Thanks for coming.
I'm like, you need to get that changed. So he has changed it, but
Doesn't matter,
it's like,
up to you. Yeah.
live and learn.
You'll have to have the gavel.
What's that?
You'll have to use the gavel.
You like
I'm glad you're here.
Sorry.
We were gonna have to learn all kinds of new stuff.
Well,
And they go,
I'll be learning as I go.
who's the next person? Oh, I think it's Dan. You're kidding me.
All right, we will call the meeting to order at 6:52. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we will do a roll call, please.
Ed March, absent. Joshua Pelletier,
Yes?
Jeremy Snow,
Yes.
Deborah Whitman,
Yes.
Kyle Sullivan,
Present.
Kurt Bartram, absent, and Greg Newell.
here,
Do we need to appoint any alternates tonight?
No, but if we could make a motion to excuse Ed and Kurt.
I'll make a motion to excuse Ed and Kurt from tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
Yeah. Do we need to vote or?
Just accept them once that way.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes of the March 19, 2024 meeting?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of, which was it, April 16th?
March 19.
March 19, 2024.
Second.
Accepted unless doubted. Okay, we'll move on to public items or comments, and these would be for items not currently on the agenda. If anybody has anything, now's your opportunity. Hearing none, we will move on to public hearings. First up, we have PB 24-001. Ted McLeod is seeking a subdivision amendment approval for a 3-lot subdivision, previously approved lot number 4 of PB 96-034 located on Hammond Street. So if anybody's here to speak to that.
I'm here. My name's Darrell Gable, surveyor working for Ted. And I'll just open up for any questions if you have them. I don't think anyone's here for the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll start. I guess if you don't mind just summarizing what the changes are, what was originally approved and what the change is.
Okay,
It wasn't totally clear for me.
so Ted bought lot number 4, which included this whole area. And he sold off a lot to AMI Brides LLC back in 2015, which was a 1.84 acre lot. And then she, as an abutter, bought lot 4B in 2018. And then Ted turns around and sells another lot in 2020 to Mr. Pelletier. So everything would have been sweet and lovely if this whole thing hadn't been a pre-approved lot for the railroad company's land. So, you know, he waited and sold this off 5 years after. She was in a butter that wouldn't have counted, and there was another 5-year lapse in that lot when he sold it to Mr. Pelletier. So that's why we're here, just to get it resolved title-wise.
Any other questions?
No, is there any reason those can't be lots, Jesse?
Any questions from the public before we close the public hearing? Okay, we will, sorry, I did not open the public hearing. We probably opened it at 6:54. We'll close the public hearing at 6:56. And we'll move on to scheduled agenda items. First being new business, PB 24-001. We just heard the public hearing, so any other questions from the board before the vote?
So basically, he just created a subdivision
Yeah.
by
inadvertently.
splitting up the properties.
Yes. And then when AMI Rides was going to sell this lot, and her attorney caught that it was actually in subdivision. So that's why we're here to just clear that up.
I don't have any.
Seems like a formality.
Yeah,
It is more than anything, yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering why we were looking at it when I was going through it, so I built that.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion to approve PB 24-001, Ted McLeod seeking subdivision amendment approval for lot 3, for a 3-lot subdivision, previously lot 4 of PB 96-034, located on Hammond Street, tax map and lot 022-083-000.
One second.
Joshua Pelletier,
Yes.
Jeremy Snow,
Yes.
Deb Whitman,
Yes.
Kyle Sullivan.
Yes.
I don't vote.
I'm good.
I'm all
Oh,
through.
you're- I was waiting. It's all through?
Yep, all
Do you sign those later?
Yeah, we can, we'll sign them after the meeting. And I can either get them to you, or if you want to just hang around, it shouldn't be a lot longer for the meeting.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. McLaughlin Fine Woodworking LLC, represented by Plymouth Engineering, is seeking final approval for a 13-lot subdivision located at the end of Streamside Avenue.
So I was here previously, I think it was November, had made a presentation to you guys, Amy on Plymouth Engineering. And I resubmitted this a couple weeks ago with all your comments with the responses attached. And the only thing that could potentially still be pending is, we're still working with Cody on making sure that the fire pond meets the standards. But otherwise, I think we addressed all the issues that had arisen at the previous meeting.
Any board comments or questions?
Comment question now?
Yeah.
This is old business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The IFW letter,
Mhm.
do you guys have vernal pool
assessments scheduled?
They've been done, there weren't any.
There weren't any,
No,
okay.
no, Lee did this last spring and there were none
Okay,
identified.
so DEP must not have known that when they wrote that letter.
Well, IFNW puts it on the wetland delineator as to them being responsible for deciding whether it's a significant vernal pool or not.
Okay.
Cause I think last week and the next 2 weeks are the
I was gonna say
window.
we're running up against the,
We have them running around like crazy right now with all the ones that we need the vernal pools for, but there weren't any identified.
awesome.
Well, I think the existing cul-de-sac, was not fully paved, but the new one will be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, and I think, yeah, we talked about that at the last meeting, that the cul-de-sac will be removed and basically relocated, and the new deed information will be taken care of. And I believe Ed did have a concern about the last lot in the previous subdivision, and I think he spoke to you, Jesse, about it, and it's been resolved.
I didn't have anything else.
Looks good.
I have one quick question while it's popping up my head, because I just ran into something else. Postal Service, did they say that they would continue service down through there, or were they gonna do a cluster?
I don't know, I think Isaac was gonna ask about that, and I will definitely follow up with Isaac about that.
'Cause if there is going to be a cluster, then we'll have to probably adjust something on there.
Is it a cluster on Streamside or is it house by house right now?
House by house right now.
The post office doesn't like to go house by house anymore.
No,
New
and I've been
subdivisions.
having issues getting a hold of them lately.
And so is Isaac.
I've read the news that they've shut Hamden down.
Yeah.
So I've been getting emails from different people when I've been trying to activate new addresses. And they're folks I haven't dealt with at all in the past 2 years, so just trying to figure out where the emails are bouncing to and from. And I used to get a reply within a day. I haven't gotten a reply from anybody in a week.
We will definitely get that ironed out.
Is that something we have to be contingent
That's
on?
what I was gonna ask.
I would make it contingent.
Condition before.
Yeah. That and the fire bond.
For sure. Any other questions, comments? Look for a motion.
I'm gonna try to get this right with the conditions. So, make a motion to approve CB 23-015 McLaughlin Fine Woodworking LLC, represented by Plymouth Engineering, seeking final approval for a 13-lot subdivision located off the end of Streamside Avenue. Property is located on tax map 024-002-000. Contingent upon approval of the fire pond and its final determination on the postal cluster.
I think that would work. Yeah.
Second.
Joshua Pelletier,
Yes.
Jeremy Snow,
Yes.
Deb Whitman,
Yes.
Kyle Sullivan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the agenda, we have workshops, none listed. And then we have CEO items, cover the code report for February and March.
It's been pretty steady through February and March, and definitely started to increase this month in busier since roads came unposted last week, and the rest of the signs came down this morning, so. Full steam ahead. And that also.
Thank you. Okay, then we have final public items for comments. Again, this is for items not already on the agenda. Okay. Next is planning board items.
I was just wondering if they've broken ground yet at Dave's Way.
I don't believe so. I drove past there last week, the week before. I don't think they have. I know the solar folks are coming up this week, potentially meeting with them Thursday. I don't know if they're just laying out or what exactly, but, should be soon.
I know she said they were anxious to start breaking ground and then we got the blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Old Dominion emailed us the other day and they're getting all their final ducks in a row because they're down in the Carolinas, so they're getting everything organized as well.
Solar ordinance, what's the, are we gonna have another workshop? What's the thought process on that?
So, the ordinance committee that I'm putting together, I'm gonna have them rework it
Okay,
and move forward from there, so I would, probably expect another moratorium extension.
okay.
And that's, how long is the extension again?
6 months at that time. Yeah, we've had quite an increase in personal ones that have come in. I probably had, I forget what it was, 6 last month, I probably got 2 or 3 this month.
Oh, wow.
So,
Is the moratorium on all solar or?
everything over
just-
half an acre.
Anything else from the board? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Yeah, what did I say?
Accept.
Yeah, accepted unless doubted.
Thank you.
Think of it as character building.
Yeah. That was my second one. First one was, well, this one was very surprising. Yeah. Just wasn't planning on being able to make it.
Whichever one works better.
So we don't have the.
Surprise or
plan.
No plan,
Oh,
unfortunately,
And our demonstration.
We got there at 4:30 this morning. yeah.
At the registration. I started.
What do you guys make of that
We
mountain?
can't accept these. I'm like, that's all.
We're still primarily graphic.
And so, like, oh, shit.
Oh.
Which mill is it again?
That's-
Oh, is it?